She had one chance. 3 years of rejection. One interview one morning to change everything. And she threw it all away for a stranger bleeding in the road. What happened next, nobody saw coming. Not even her. The city was already boiling before sunrise. Inside a packed public bus, Amara sat upright, her navy blazer pressed perfectly. Her leather folder clutched against her chest like it contained her entire future. Because it did. After 3 years of closed doors, unanswered emails, and watching her mother's cough grow worse month by month, she had finally landed an interview at Global Dynamics Industries. 8 o'clock sharp. Not a minute late. She had prayed over this morning. Her mother had blessed her at the door with trembling hands and shining eyes. Nothing was going to go wrong. Then the bus stopped moving. This story has been dramatized and reconstructed for narrative and inspirational purposes. Names, characters, dialogue, and specific details have been altered or fictionalized. The events depicted are intended to illustrate themes of kindness, sacrifice, and faith. This content is meant to inspire and uplift, not to represent a verified news report. Viewer discretion is advised. At first, she told herself it was normal. City traffic. These things happened. But 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 15, and the sea of vehicles ahead showed no sign of clearing. She checked her watch. 7:45. Her chest tightened. She stuck her head out the window and flagged down a passing hawker. The news came back like a cold hand around her throat. An accident at the next junction. An old woman wandering into the road. A car that didn't stop in time. The woman was still lying there right in the middle of the road, and nobody, not one single person in that massive crowd, would touch her. They were afraid. Bad luck, they said. Let the government people handle it. So they stood in a wide circle with their phones raised high, recording, waiting, watching a human being suffer alone on hot asphalt. Amara checked her watch again. 7:48. 12 minutes. Her dream job. Her mother's treatment. Everything she had fought 3 years to reach was sitting 12 minutes away. A selfish thought pierced through the panic. If they would just move that woman out of the way. She crushed it immediately and felt ashamed it had come at all. Because then she looked through the heat haze at that crowd, at that wide circle of people, at the small, still figure at the center of it all. Alone. Helpless. Just like her mother would be. And something inside her moved before her mind could argue. She pushed open the bus door and stepped into the chaos. She pushed through cars, through stairs, through a man who tried to block her path and warned her about curses and bad luck and getting involved. She stepped around him and kept walking. She knelt down in the dirt beside the old woman, right there on the hot asphalt in her clean blazer and polished shoes, and she took her hand. The woman was elegantly dressed beneath the blood and the torn lace. Someone's mother, someone's world, lost and confused and calling for a person named Adana who wasn't there. "It's okay, Mama," Amara whispered. "I'm here. I'm going to help you." And she meant every word. No ambulance was coming. No police in sight. The hospital was a 15-minute walk through the market if she took the shortcut. Amara made a decision that would cost her everything and looked the old woman in the eyes. "Hold on tight." And then she lifted her. The crowd gasped. A boy with a phone shouted that she was either blessed or foolish. She carried that frail body through muddy alleys, past shouting traders, past stray dogs, past every obstacle the city could throw at her, sweating through her blazer, arms burning, legs screaming, talking to the woman the entire way. "We are almost there, Mama. You are doing so well. Just hold on." She made it to the hospital. She handed over every naira she had, 4,800, every single coin counted that morning with hopeful hands, to start the woman's treatment. Then she looked up at the clock on the wall. 11 a.m., 4 hours late. The realization hit her like a physical blow. She walked to Global Dynamics Industries anyway. She had to try. She had to explain. She stood in that beautiful marble lobby in her ruined clothes, her hair loose and wild, mud on her shoes, and she told Mr. Tund everything. The old woman, the market, the hospital, the money. He listened. Then he fired her. "Your reasons do not matter," he said. "Security will escort you out." She walked home. The long way, with nothing. 2 weeks passed like a slow kind of drowning. No money, no job. Her mother's medicine running out. 1 meal a day, sometimes less. She applied for everything and heard back from nothing. She sat on the floor each evening with a borrowed laptop, scrolling through listings, sending applications into silence. Her mother watched her from the mattress and said nothing because there was nothing to say. They had cried it all out, prayed it all through. Now there was only surviving, only waiting, only hoping that God had seen what happened on that road and had not forgotten. Then one night, a notification appeared, a new email. The sender stopped her cold. Global Dynamics Industries. She stared at the screen for a long moment, certain it was a mistake, certain it was a rejection letter they'd forgotten to send 2 weeks ago. She opened it with shaking hands. You are hereby invited to the office of the Chief Executive Officer. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., sharp. Please do not be late. Transportation will be provided. Her first thought was that it was a trap, a final humiliation. Her mother took one look at her face and one look at the screen and said something that silenced every fear. What do you have left to lose? Nothing. Then go. She went. The CEO's office was on a high floor with windows that showed the whole city below. Richard Ado was tall, composed, with eyes that carried grief and gratitude in equal measure. But it was not him that stopped Amara in the doorway. It was the woman sitting in the chair wrapped in a blanket, silver hair neatly arranged, hands folded in her lap, smiling the moment she saw Amara's face. The old woman from the road, alive. Here, calling her Adana with a love so deep it broke the room open. Amara's legs nearly gave way. Richard told her everything. His grandmother had dementia. She had wandered from the house in one unguarded moment and ended up on that expressway, confused and bleeding, surrounded by a crowd that would not help. The hospital had called his family. The doctors had described the girl who carried her, the girl who gave her last money and left only a phone number on the form. They had searched for weeks. They had traced a disconnected phone, a former address, dead end after dead end. His grandmother asked for Adana every single day. And then someone in HR saw a name in the system, a girl hired and fired on the same day, and the pieces came together. Amara Okon, the one who saved her, the man who fired you is no longer with this company, Richard said. His voice was steady, but the anger beneath it was clear. Then he told her what he was offering. Not her old job, a new one. His personal assistant, 4 times the salary, a company car, full health insurance for her and for her mother, a furnished home rent-free for as long as she wanted. You carried my grandmother when she was lost, he said quietly. Now let us carry you. Amara's knees buckled. Strong hands caught her before she hit the floor. When she opened her eyes, Richard was kneeling before her with a glass of water, and Mama Adele was standing behind him with her hand pressed to her heart, whispering, Adana, my Adana. You came back. Everything Richard promised he kept. Every single word. Madame Gloria was admitted to the best hospital in the city within days. Specialists ran tests. Real treatment began. The cough that had haunted their lives for years slowly eased. Color returned to her face. She laughed without pain. She gained strength week by week until she was more alive than she had been in years. They moved into the new home. Cream walls, a garden full of flowers, sunlight pouring through every window. Mother and daughter stood in the middle of that living room and cried together until there was nothing left to cry. He saw Mama, Amara whispered. You said he saw, he did. Her mother held her tighter. He always sees, my child. He always sees. Amara threw herself into her new role with everything she had. She arrived early. She stayed late. She learned everything. She walked those office corridors with a quiet confidence that earned respect from people who had once watched her be escorted out in shame. And through it all, Richard watched. Not the way a boss watches an employee, but the way a man watches someone he is starting to understand is extraordinary. The friendship deepened slowly, naturally, until neither of them could clearly identify the moment it became something more. On a golden afternoon with flowers in the garden and family gathered from every direction, Amara walked down the aisle in rich traditional fabric and intricate beadwork that made her look exactly like the queen she had always been. Her mother walked beside her, healthy and glowing with a pride that had no ceiling. At the altar, Richard waited with eyes that held only her. And in the front row, Mama Adele sat in her finest wrapper, clapping her hands and weeping with joy, watching her grandson marry the girl God had sent to save her. That night, long after the celebration wound down, Madame Gloria sat alone with Richard in the quiet living room. She looked at him for a long moment with the eyes of a woman who has survived everything and fears nothing. Then she spoke plainly. That girl you married has a heart unlike anything this world deserves. She carried a stranger through mud and gave her last coin to save a life she didn't know. She lost her dream for a woman whose name she didn't even know. Do you understand what you have been given? Richard nodded. She leaned forward. If you ever make her cry because of something you chose, God will not need me to respond. He will handle it himself. Then she reached out and pulled him close and held him like a son. Take care of her. That is all I ask. Just take care of her. I will, he said into her shoulder. Always. Forever. I will. Madame Gloria sat alone after he left, looking up at the ceiling, at the sky beyond it, at the God who had carried them all to this impossible, beautiful place. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for my daughter's happiness. Thank you for sending her a good man. And thank you for letting me live long enough to see this day. She closed her eyes, and for the first time in 27 years, her heart was completely at peace. They say kindness is never wasted. They say God sees every sacrifice, every act of love, every moment when a person chooses someone else's life over their own comfort. Amara didn't know that the woman on the road was a billionaire's grandmother. She didn't stop because of a reward. She stopped because she could not walk past a human being in pain. And that one decision, that one costly, terrifying, beautiful decision changed everything. If you are going through a hard season right now, if your kindness has cost you something and you are wondering if it was worth it, let this story be your answer. God has not forgotten what you did. He is still writing your story. Drop a comment and tell us, have you ever helped someone even when it cost you everything? Share this with someone who needs to believe again today. Like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. God bless you.